Things aren't gonna be the same anymore, are they? So, episode 9 of season 3 of Game of Thrones has aired. It's called The Reigns of Castamere, and a lot of stuff happened this episode, and I know that if you're watching this and you've seen the episode, you know what you want me to talk about, so I'm going to talk about everything else first, because that's the last thing I want to talk about, because it's the biggest thing we've had since season 1. I have nothing to say about Sam and Gilly. They're just walking through the forest and snow and everything, and they're heading to the wall, and they actually got there, so that's nice. I can't wait to see what happens with them. Maybe they'll reunite with Jon, who, let's move into that, is seemingly heading towards the wall, is at least what I got from it. Because with that whole thing with the guy who sells the horses to the Night's Watch and how Jon wouldn't kill him, and then he kind of had to fight off a bunch of wildlings. He finally killed that piece of shit one I hate. That was a great scene. I loved that. And I love the fact that Bran was so close to him, and it's so close, and he finally figured out how to possess animals, and he helped Jon. It was such a cool scene, and it interlocked because you've been waiting for at least the Bran storyline to actually progress in some way, and it finally did tonight, and I was so happy about that, and I can't wait to see where it goes next week and next season. We're close to being 9 months away from new episodes. I'm very upset. I'm really curious about what's happening with Jon and Ygritte now, because I know that he actually does like her, but he just ran off, probably in the heat of the moment because he had nothing else to do or had no other choice. But I really want to see where that goes, if they'll reunite ever again, because it seems when people get separated in this series, they're never gonna reunite again. Arya, Robb, any Stark, essentially. And one other thing before I get to that big event, Daenerys has taken over Yunkai now, and I really enjoyed that aspect, especially the fight scene, just having Jorah and Dario and Grey Worm, all of them fighting off a bunch of guys. It was a really cool fight scene. Now that she has a bigger army, maybe she'll cross the narrow sea. Who am I kidding? She's never crossing the sea. She's gonna free every single city in Essos before she even thinks about going across. I love the Jon and Bran aspect of this episode. It was great. The Sam and Gilly one was fine, whatever. The Daenerys parts were really cool, so the fight scenes. But then the event happens, and if you haven't watched this episode and you're watching this review for some reason, just click off now. I beg you to click off, because I had a temporary brain meltdown there, because I actually knew this was going to happen. I knew that Robb was going to be betrayed by the Freys and the Boltons and have his entire army slaughtered. I knew that was happening, but just the way it played out was so just brutal, and it was just so uncomfortable to watch. Because I can handle a lot of gore, I can handle brutal stuff, but just that scene when Talisa's getting stabbed in the stomach, it really just made me fidget for a while. It was so uncomfortable to watch. And Robb getting shot, and I hate the Freys. They're just they're horrible. And it changes the entire landscape of this war, because now there's no large army that's gonna move on the Lannisters, because Stannis is back in his place doing God knows what. Well, I guess my theory about those slugs last week or the week before was right, because he threw one of those slugs in the fire, said Robb Stark, and it blew up and whatever. And he threw one in for Joffrey and Balon Greyjoy, so I'm guessing they're gonna die really soon. And if that happens, all you have left for the throne is Stannis, but of course in King's Landing they'll probably just give it to Joffrey's younger brother or some stupid garbage like that, because you know, the Lannisters believe anything they do is right, and that's that. I will say, the entire wedding scene at the Frey's place was completely intense, and it was well done. And I forgot about Arya. I forgot that. The fact that, again, she was so close to Robb too, and she's just now never gonna see him again. That's awful. But I'm glad the Hound kind of knocked her out and got her away from that, because she was probably gonna charge in and try and do something, which was a completely dumb idea. It's good to see that he's actually looking out for her and doesn't completely not care about her. I don't know what to say about this episode anymore. It blows you away in every way possible. There's a great amount of action. It furthers the story. You get a death in there that it changes the entire landscape of the show, and it's a perfect episode. I'm going to give this episode an A+. It's completely on par with the rest of this series and season. Just wow. I'm shocked at how much that scene affected me, even though I knew it was coming. It's amazing. So what'd you guys think of this episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? What's been the most shocking moment of the entire series so far? Mine was probably when Ned died, because I didn't really know that was happening the first time I watched it, and I was kind of shocked, you know. The main character being killed off is a pretty big deal. Write beautiful comments down there and tell me what you think, and if you like this video, hit that subscribe button down there, because if you don't, I'll shoot up your wedding. That's all that's in my mind right now.